Good evening, dear viewers. Hope you are all fine. Today, my topic will reflect about issue of teaching to think through teaching English. A very interesting topic, but let me make it very short today, maybe of 5 minutes. Please bear with me. What do you mean by thinking? So, my question is, what do you think when I say think? What do you mean by thinking? So, all of us are thinking. Why? Because we are thinking beings. We are rational beings. So, since we are rational beings, we will be always thinking. If you say, I am not thinking anything, again, not thinking again itself is also a thinking. So, nobody is going without thinking. But in the context of a student life, what do you mean by the word thinking? That is my question. So, teachers in the class always tell the students, keep thinking, reflecting. You have to think a lot. You have to reflect a lot. Even me, I use very often to the students, think, reflect, and study. But we need to always help out the students to understand what do I mean by the word thinking. So we can say thinking may be broadly defined as consideration of facts. So you have to consider certain facts. So there are so many facts, there are so many truths, and there are so much of realities in our world. But we need to consider certain facts. So thinking comes broadly in the line of considering certain facts. What are these certain facts? How do we consider that? We need to apprehend something. That means we need to go deeply to understand certain things and solve a problem and take a decision. So, thinking has got three important things. One is apprehend something, second one is solve a problem and take a decision. So, you have got three things to make the students understand. So, then we think about critical thinking. What is the meaning of critical thinking? So, thinking is very clear, consideration of facts. But what do you mean by critical thinking? Critical thinking also has got some important aspects. Critical. So, the word critical is used here. Very often we tell the students you have to think critically. Why? Because in today's world, education is competency based education, learning. Therefore, students are expected to think critically. So, how do we help out the students to think critically? So, what is the meaning of critical thinking? So, critical thinking is a kind of a thinking or reasoning which has got some difference in the line of learning. So, what is that? It refers to cognitive skills, that means intellectual skills. We are trying to display or we are trying to show how intelligent we are through critical thinking. Again, there are some strategies, some methods, okay, in the probability of a desirable outcome. So, critical thinking is referring to desirable outcome. What are the desirable outcome, or how do we? What are the things that we expect from the students to bring about? That can be desirable outcome. So, suppose a problem is given, problem solving and taking a decision, or we need to expect the students to come come up with some desirable, we desire to see some outcome, which means some result. So we expect that students are expected to bring about such a result. So probably we need to think what is this, what is the meaning of desirable outcome. Desirable outcome is the result of critical thinking, and also it is it is the real learning of the student's life. Let us see what is that. My dear viewers, one thing we have to remember: no subject teaches us, okay, or student teaches students how to think, but they teach them what to think. That is interesting thing. So no subject teaches students what to think, how to think, but they teach what to think. That means subject based knowledge is given. So accordingly, one will have to think about the subject matter. So to think critically is to think reasonably and responsibly and skillfully to decide what to believe or do. That is what is called critical thinking. And again, this entails asking appropriate questions and gathering relevant information, reasoning logically from this information and coming to reliable and trustworthy conclusions. That is actually called critical thinking. So there are some things that we have to remember. We are expecting certain things from students. When we say you have to think critically, it is referring to a person who is responsibly thinking and reflecting and skillfully to decide what to believe or do. That means we are expecting the students to find out appropriate answers, relevant information, and also reasonably and logically thinking, and to get reliable and trustworthy conclusions. So reliable and trustworthy conclusion should be there. That is why we have to say critical thinking. So when we say critical thinking, we need to think before, during, and after. And we need to also gather information from the reliable sources from both sides. Sometimes we fail to see on the other side. We only hear from one side and we don't see the other side of it. So always we have to think before, during, and after. So if we are able to think like this critically, I am sure that students also will be able to find out what to write, how to answer, and how to respond responsibly to certain questions during examination. I would like to stop here, and I will try to continue it tomorrow with the next topic. Until then, keep watching and also give me some comments. If you are watching, please also do get some valuable comments and encourage me. Thank you. Have a good night.